Good morning.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Plant Medicine, Cannabis, Psychedelics, and Pharmaceutics. I am really honored today to have our guest. He is a fellow Floridian like me, Sunshine State.
Yay.
He is Sunshine State fellow business entrepreneur. But before we get to Adam, you guys know what's up. You guys know what's up. We gotta do a good house cleaning. So what is a good house cleaning? Of course, you guys know me by now. In case any of you are just joining, I'm Dr. Lola, also known as Dr. O, pharmacist or clinical pharmacist, plant medicine enthusiast. I'm the founder of WCI Health, your alternative health and wellness store, where we help you level up on your wellness journey using the healing powers of botanicals and plant medicine education as too. Having used herbal medicine myself growing up in western part of Africa, in Nigeria specifically, bringing that knowledge, especially as well as my clinical background, to help our people get to the next level, saving money on healthcare costs. I mean, that is really insane. And live your best life right here and now. That's what's up with me.
Yes.
That's the next thing on the agenda. The next cleaning is our regular disclaimer. This show is still for educational purpose only, strictly educational. Don't take it as medical advice. Consult with your doctor for all your medical needs. Do not stop or start any medicine without talking to your doctor. Finally, without our sponsor, where will we be? We will be back home. So I want to say thank you to our sponsor. This show is sponsored by WCI Health, your alternative health and wellness company. They are the makers of Glows and Glows Beauty products, CBD infused. You have also pet shampoos. For all the products from Glows, WCI Health, head straight to their website, wci-health.com, for all your hemp CBD derived products. Having said that, what else do I have to say? Of course, thank you to you. Yes, you. Without you, I'm not here. Thank you for the support you give this show. Not just your financial support, you also show up for me every week. I appreciate that. And for those of you that are yet to join our tribes, please head straight to my website, slide in my DM. Let us become a family. We need you to help us out here. Having said that, thank you, Adam. I have today with me Adam Wicks. Adam is the president of a CBD company out of St. Petersburg in Florida. They are hemp, healthy hemp outlet. Oh, there you are.
Yes,
See, can you guys see his shirt, healthy hemp outlet? They are out of St. Pete, Florida, South Florida. They also have an online store. And we're gonna let Adam tell us a little bit. First of all, how did I even met Adam? I was recently in a CBD expo organized by Maze Media, and we had a D8 Delta 8. Yes, the Titan Delta 8 is. We had a Titan conference in Orlando recently, and that's where I met Adam. He is an educator. He was on the same panel as myself. So thank you, Adam, for being here today. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, how you find yourself in the cannabis space. Thank you, Adam, for being here.
Well, good morning, and thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and it was a pleasure to meet you at the Delta 8 and CBD Expo in Orlando about a couple weeks ago. So
yeah,
I've been in the cannabis business since early 2017. I've been pro-cannabis since my college years, where, like most people over 30 or 40, back then the introduction was merely recreation. It was just part of a lifestyle, and there's no need to spend much time there, but I was always pro cannabis, but without a awareness, without that education you talk about. And I did fine through school. I graduated with a degree. I went into corporate America. I spent 20 years in corporate America, and the whole time I was pro cannabis. And it might be worth saying too, the whole time I was never on any prescription. There was a divorce period in my life where the doctor prescribed me, it was Wellbutrin at first, and then we switched to Zoloft. I was honest with my doctor and told him I was pro cannabis, and he said that the cannabis was interacting with the pharmaceuticals. And when I
Yeah.
asked why, he didn't have any information on cannabis. And since it was criminal, and the
Mm-hmm.
control that the government has on it to
Yeah.
stigmatify it, it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
even a discussion we could have. So it
Mm-hmm.
forced me to learn a little bit about these antidepressants. And when I saw the transmissions that typically your body wants to have, and how this pharmaceutical is like a video game, suppressing the natural movement of things like, without the medical knowledge of exactly what I'm saying, but
Yes, I mean, you're doing good.
well, when adrenaline flows, when
Mm-hmm.
excitement flows, when you're nervous, that's what Mother Nature wanted you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Probably something that's also critical in my development and distrust and dislike of pharmaceuticals was in my late 20s. I was working for a large corporation and they had a cafeteria. Before that, I never had the access to sodas and bags of chips, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
teach you that in school either in the nutrition.
I
So
know.
about 6 months into this corporate job, I had heartburn that was horrible, and I went to the doctor, and he did an endoscopy, which was very unpleasant.
I
And he
know.
said, "You have GERD." And I said,
Ooh.
"Oh, that's not great. What do we do about that?" He goes, "Oh, and back then Prilosec was a prescription before it was OTC." And again, I'm a average guy. I'm pretty mechanical in my mind. And I said, "Well, what's that
Mm-hmm.
Prilosec going to do? Because maybe it's helping me because it's from a doctor and he's wearing this white coat and I can trust him." And when he said it's going to limit, reduce, or stop the acid from entering your stomach that's causing heartburn. And I said, "Oh God, that sounds assistance, but why is the acid coming in the stomach?" "Oh, it's your diet." And I thought, "Well, can I correct it at that spot?" And he said,
I
"Yeah."
know. I
Like it,
cannot help myself. The clinician in me just got to come in.
yeah.
Okay. When you have any ailment or any condition, as a clinician,
Mhm.
our first line of therapy should always be lifestyle modification. What's
Yeah,
up with that? Lifestyle
yeah,
modification, diet, exercise. That should be our first line. So if we just, oh, you got this issue, bam, let's put you on med. It's just not ideal.
yeah. And when you grow up, the awareness, however it happens, if you're left to just be like tumbleweed in America, and you may never
Yeah.
know if you never have a traffic ticket, if you never go to court, if you never apply for a business license,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the cannabis sector. But the idea that the government and whatnot is an institution that kind of monitors you and your safety, and the Food and Drug Administration is making sure that no evil empire enters, and the awareness is so different on the other side. But
Yeah.
I did, back to the GERD. I didn't want the medicine intervention. At that moment, I stopped drinking soda and I stopped eating potato chips, and it went away miraculously in 3 months. Honestly, I still have a bout with it here and there, and it's diet driven, and I've learned
Mhm.
that. But I'm 50 years old, and
You don't
honestly,
look that.
I have no prescriptions, no medicines. I've got broken bones and aches and pains, and some people might say some other,
Mm-hmm.
things going on. But it's almost like I want a T-shirt that says 50 and drug free, and literally mean prescription free.
I know.
But
You
my
look
MP,
great for 50 years old. We
thank
know,
you.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah. But as far as how I got in the business, those were some early issues that prior to cannabis becoming more relative in society, I just didn't like medicine because I saw the way that it manipulated the body. It wasn't like when you eat an orange, you can follow the flow and through nutrition discussion and see the charts what it's giving you. And medicine doesn't typically give you something; it's stopping something that the body wants to do. I use this analogy at work. I say, imagine you bought your first brand new car, and in today's world, I mean, it's $85,000 brand new car. You are driving it for 3 months and you love it, and the check engine light comes on. When you go to the dealership, he checks your car and comes in and asks you to come look at it, and he says, listen, there's something in the computer brain, and to fix it the right way, we're going to need to have you drive it every day for 20 minutes at a normal speed to kind of warm the engine up. And then over about 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to work on the oil pressure, and you need to come see me and kind of change your lifestyle.
I
Oh
know.
gosh, or if you
They,
want, I have this can of a gasoline that we can put in there. And what this does is it simply lets your car run without the worry of that pain. And essentially, to me, that's what medicine does. Is you wouldn't take your investment in this technology car that is amazing. It has these sensors, and it can tell when there's someone behind you on the right side,
mm-hmm.
and manipulate the computer so that it doesn't tell you where problems are, so that you feel better. And I think that's where
Absolutely.
the big theft in medicine is, that the instant gratification of pain relief won over the natural homeopathics. And anyway, this all leads up to why I got in the business, because I'm passionate about not taking medicine. And again, I was pro cannabis for 20 years, until I read about this one amazing thing. I'm looking if I have a flyer that I use at work, but I read about the endocannabinoid system.
Yeah.
I thought,
Before you get into the endocannabinoid system,
"Hmm,
first of all, I want to I want to quickly come in and just comment on the fact on the way we deal with disease states or ailments in our country. I mean, I grew up in the western part of my earlier childhood was in the western part of Africa in Nigeria. And contrary to what people would say that, oh, maybe they didn't have a clinic, it's a third world, they are one of the largest oil producing country in the whole world.
mhm,
I mean, they even supply United States with oil, you know.
mhm,
So people use our forefathers have been used herbal medicine for generations. And in that society back then, things have even infiltrated and changed a little bit out there as well. But back then, when you are sick, the first thing people think about is natural remedies.
mhm,
There's barely any ailment that you can think of that African society, they don't try herbal medicine first. And you see people live a long, long. My grandmother, she's still alive. She's over 100 years old.
mhm.
And she doesn't even live in the big city. She
Yeah,
lives in a smaller town,
yeah.
and she's over 100 years old, you know.
Wow. Okay.
So how about plant medicine? These are gifts of nature's gift to us.
Yeah.
And having said that, talk to me about your healthy hemp. Why how did you start that business? Why healthy hemp outlet?
Um, Opportunity and education kind of came together for me. I was in corporate America, working for a international computer company that everybody would know, and I was selling cloud solutions for companies at a time when the investment into owning the entire digital data center or using a cloud became an option. And at that time, websites were growing, and I came across CBD with another adult choice friend of mine, and it's just amazing. 20 years adult choice, and then you hear about this. And my first iteration was probably like a lot of people. So there's this plant-based cannabis oil that you don't feel, and it's going to help me with my rotator cuff pain that I've had for years since I had an injury. And playing tennis, I didn't want to keep taking Advil, so in the search for something, one of my friends uh, procured some CBD at an early day, and it worked. It didn't work right away for me, and that was kind of like the first little reason why maybe I might want to start a business. It didn't have that prescription instant gratification. And if you understood how it was helping the endocannabinoid system and what Mother Nature planned for as far as a stressful day might have been running from a bear, instead of like
Mm-hmm.
going through a divorce or a legal
Yeah.
situation and whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
learning about what cannabis could do and then wanting to educate, because that endocannabinoid system, again, when I learned about that, the relief of, honestly, as a cannabis consumer during the past 20 or so years, there's a time where you feel guilty, and you feel guilty within society, you feel guilty within your family, and you might even feel guilty in a relationship. And I remember having personal relationships where people expressed not wanting to be with you if you consumed cannabis. And
Mm-hmm.
now, without the recreation blaring above, I would rather spend my time with someone that understands cannabis and doesn't want to take 4 prescriptions. So the interesting, dynamic there. But I really thought that the endocannabinoid system and the way it was offered to me was presentable because I was in the technical space. But the number two reason for the business was, so it's justified that there's a system in your body. It works on these receptors called CB1, CB2. It deals with pain, and it was calling pain a sensation, which to me before, in my, being a normal human, sensations were always good, not bad. But I realized, well,
Mm-hmm.
pain is a sensation.
Mm-hmm.
And then ultimately with that cloud, offering, and I saw the ability to just do a website, I did it. So I kind of pulled the trigger, wanted to get in the business, really didn't know that much other than my personal use. I felt like that would be credible to answer any questions, but the CBD movement, it was just starting, and I was super impressed with how it helped me. And then day by day, week by week, month by month, my goal was, let me get some feedback, because 10 years ago when eBay was scaling, it was because you could see that they had 20 feedback, 30 when they had feedback, and then Amazon capitalized on that in an enterprise manner. And my whole goal in the beginning was everything I learned in the computer industry. I want to find high quality vendors that are reliable and I can depend on, make relationships with them, and offer it at a great price. Because my mother used to take me shopping all the time, and we went to outlet malls and
Mm-hmm.
TJ Maxx. And
I
so
know.
my
I love
idea was,
shopping.
I didn't have the Macy's idea. I mean, even though back then it was amazing how much it was, I felt like consumers deserve to know about what's in their body.
Mm-hmm.
I can help do it in a manner like I did in the computer industry and explain it. And I hope I get a chance to express some of my, teaching tips. And if I do that right, like everything I learned in corporate America, where there was at least the motto of being transparent and being available for I mean, everything I learned in the corporate world, I put into the cannabis world. And bless you, thank you to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the website grew and grew and grew. And then about a year and a half later, I had the opportunity to open up a retail store, which I wanted to do for the sole purpose of getting human interaction and feedback, because online I was getting reviews, but never hearing the in medicine they call it chief complaint. Why are you here? Like, I heard about CBD and I think it can help me with blank. I never heard that. I saw the order. The retail
Yeah.
store got people coming in, and it gave more of an opportunity for people to come in and ask about it. Oh, I heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
What does it do? And I
Yeah.
realized, and I'm still amazed with online. I feel like people hopefully read all the articles and stuff. But when you explain to someone the cannabis plant and it's type 1 or type 2, it's either hemp or marijuana. I explain that in the same way you're in the grocery store and you're in the lettuce section. Lettuce is the word cannabis. You have to make a choice. Do you want iceberg lettuce, romaine lettuce? And usually it's, well, what kind of salad dressing do you want? So I like to make jokes and make it easy. Cannabis is like the word lettuce. And instead of asking yourself for dinner, do I want iceberg or romaine? Is it house or is it Caesar? Do I want plant-based medicine that has no intoxication, or do I want the one that does? And believe it or not, people make that determination every day at dinner, especially when you go out. Somebody might order tea or water. Somebody might
Mm-hmm.
order an alcoholic beverage. Intoxication is
Mm-hmm.
perfectly fine. We're allowed to do it. It's all about everything that adults do at sports events and everything. So I saw how the intoxication was somewhat deemed as well, that's how it works. And then maybe we can take a little break, but I really do enjoy how CBD and the ECS work together. I feel like when you explain it to somebody and what the expectation can be, it's not a cure, it's not a
Yeah.
instant gratification.
Yeah.
It's a percentage difference.
Yeah.
It
And
may,
that kind of takes me back to my retail days when I used to work as a pharmacist in the retail store. I mean, patient they will come in. A lot of time we clinicians we assume, oh, they should know that. But one of my professors gave us an example one time about somebody wanted to go to the store and saw KY jelly. Just thought it was just a regular jelly, and took KY jelly home and put it in bread without asking question. So we cannot assume that folks know these things, even no matter how basic it is. We as professionals, we have to still go ahead and explain how these things work. So coming to that, when you even talk about the psychoactivities of cannabis, yeah, when we talk about the intoxication, it's not really intoxication per se, as in alcohol. It's just that, like you said, the way nature made this thing to work. And when it comes to CBD and THC, it's all in your dosing. A higher THC can get you that, can give you that highness, and the lower THC will help you to be calm, and that brings me to the next question, Adam. I'm sure some of the questions you probably get from your stores are those related questions. What are the kind of questions you get when it comes to dosing and also method of consuming cannabis?
And sometimes, like you said, they may not know to ask that question. So I feel that there's a delivery process that includes a explanation of hemp versus marijuana, the ECS and what's happening inside. And to answer that question, in the retail store, it's in a busy downtown area, and I happen to have a bar next to me. I understand, and I apologize for those that don't have affinity or some experience with alcohol, but it's a very easy experience in America to discuss, because everybody seems to remember or know that alcohol has something called a tipping point. And for me, I need 3 beers, and then I cross the tipping point and I'm inebriated. And if somebody asked me after I had 1 beer, hey, is that beer working? I would say, well, I don't feel it, no. And then the second beer, well, so what I'm getting at is you already know that alcohol has a tipping point. It's right here, let's say. CBD and cannabis, and this is non-scientific, this is entertainment. But,
I mean, folks know that you are not a healthcare professional, you are a business, you are an entrepreneur, and we appreciate the effort, because when you do retail, you still have to explain this, and people don't want the medical jargons. That's what I'm known for, taking the medical jargons out of here. Bye-bye medical jargons. Because when you bring all these medical jargons in there, people get scared and they don't want to ask questions. But you bring it, especially like the scenario you talked about, the lettuce, that is, average person can visualize that and say, that makes sense to me. So I really like that.
I have a goal in the future with more investment. I actually want to have like refrigerated cubes that are acrylic and have, iceberg and romaine in there on the wall at the store. I have it there. But to finish the dosage, I'll tell somebody, so think about, there is an alcohol tipping point. With CBD or cannabinoids in general, nature's plan was the same experience. And then I grab a bottle of multivitamins and I say, look at the back of this multivitamin bottle. Several, if not more than half of the ingredients are over 100%. So now we're working with, the body has needs, and there's this line, and it's the 100% line. Where is the CBD line for you? I don't know. Well, that's why I started the business and needed to get the feedback was what works for people. And over time, different milligrams were being plugged in. And 4 years later, I can say that I feel in my anecdotal experience with over 4,000 web orders, 200 web feedbacks, and 80
That's
Google
amazing.
reviews, the anecdotal feedback and customers come back when it works. So typically about 15 milligrams in the sublingual manner seems to allow enough to get near or at that balance point is what it's called in your body, not tipping point with alcohol, but with cannabis, I believe it's called balance point. If there's the balance point and you had 5 milligrams, well, it's like asking that alcohol question. You had one beer, you need three. There's a gap. So your experience is going to be a third of what it could be. And with CBD, the pricing's gotten better to where you can now buy for what's more likely going to work. Or even if you take more, I tell people, again, entertainment and information, but if this is a natural plant-based item that is very similar to what's in a multivitamin, then it should
Mm-hmm.
follow the same sort of body use and
Mm-hmm.
excretion. If you get more healthy cannabinoids that was intended by nature and you exceed a line, you're going to pee yellow. Well, that's what you do with a vitamin, but you get more. If you needed 12 cannabinoids and you got 16, the extra four are gonna be excluded.
Yeah, because most of a lot of, just like you said, just like our spinach, our lettuce, this cannabinoid, cannabis, CBD, THC, they have vitamins. They have vitamin A, vitamin B, the vitamin C that are water soluble. The water soluble vitamins, just like we have it in our spinach, you excrete it, you pee it, it goes out of the other non-water soluble one. Your body absorbs it into your fatty tissue and it helps you to do what body is supposed to do. The other thing I'm also gonna quickly
Yeah,
help, because I know with the science part of it. The other thing that affects what you just described for us is just our gene, our genetics. We are different.
yeah, yeah,
And like the analog about the beer.
yeah.
Adam might need three bottle.
Mhm.
I might need maybe a glass or a half a glass. I don't
Yeah,
drink. I just never really started. Dr. O might need just a glass.
yeah,
So all these are what we put into consideration when we dose this medicine,
yeah,
because they are medicine, nature's medicine to us. And at the end of the day, most of the science we have, Adams, they all started from the anecdotal, from word of mouth.
yeah,
This is what I did. And for example, all those data that you have collected over the years, it's going to be valuable to us in the
yeah,
future.
yeah, yeah. I'm fully in belief that cannabis, it survived 100 years without any acceptable social sort of assistance. There was no marketing. There was no
Mhm.
banking. It was underground for 100 years, and the truth coming out and the things that are happening. It maybe is almost happening at an accelerated rate, like everything in today's modern era. I mean, we found Delta
Mhm.
8 pretty quick out of an interesting need, and
Yeah.
I'm really monitoring that in the store because after about 3.5 years of advocating CBD, the non-intoxicating plant-based assistance, along
Yeah.
comes that,
There
it
goes the
wasn't a new
date.
discovery, but the ability to turn the CBD isolate into that, and then now, but if we're just discussing openly here, the first wave of customers for Delta 8 naturally were younger and they were looking for the plant-based recreation aspect of it. And that was interesting because a CBD sale might take 30, 40 minutes if someone's there wanting to have that type of information exchange. And in a Delta 8 sale, it's about a minute and a half. There wasn't any discussion about what will this do with my ECS or over time, though, this is an interesting discovery, and I'd like to practice a little more clinical questions with other people. There are older folks that are now taking Delta 8, and since they're my friends, clients, and that it wasn't a clinical environment, had the ability to say, well, what's that doing for you? Because obviously I knew they weren't looking for the recreation part. And that's where I learned about the word intoxication and how it's different and you can't apply a stigma to it. Older folks were taking Delta 8 to help fall asleep. They were taking Delta 8 to help with pain that lasts all day. And as I looked at it more, it was the intoxication that was giving relief the same way that if your knee hurts you and your friends encourage you to go to happy hour to celebrate somebody's birthday and your knee hurts you, but
Can
you have
we
this
change
drink.
that word intoxication? Because I have a little we are trying to take that stigma, especially in the science community, because part of what the power that be the politicians have done to this plant is
Yes.
demonize it. And that's why I try to not call cannabis, marijuana, or all these things that bring that negative connotation. How about we substitute that intoxication for psychoactivity, psycho high, or it gets you high, or it's psychoactive? Because when you talk about intoxication, some of us might think, oh, does that mean I'm gonna be drunk?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's the layman's term and the science term. And
Yeah.
I think you remember that email we were on, and
Yeah.
I got the psychoactive psychotropic mixed up.
Just we can use like high, I think.
Yeah. Well, in the event of what the cannabis plant provided for the feeling, let's call it.
Yes, that is awesome.
I like
that is awesome.
And we're exchanging words. I like the word adult choice better than recreation because
Absolutely. I agree with you.
you use your adult choice to go to the doctor. You use your adult choice to pick up a prescription. You use your adult choice to take that pill. You use your adult choice to go to the liquor store. You use your adult choice to drink beer in your house.
And do you know one thing, if I can just come in right quick, briefly, again, for me personally, and I'm sure it's probably with you too, I don't even think there's anything called recreation in this plant.
Yeah.
If you don't need water, if you're not thirsty, do you grab a bottle of water and start gulping it down? If we start doing that, and we say, okay, there's something going on here, you need to go see the doctor. This is, like you were mentioning before, Adam, our endocannabinoid system, if it's not deficient, we won't be grabbing for this product. What do you think about that?
That brings about an interesting topic I'm sure you've probably seen, and I'd love to discuss that with you, is possibly endocannabinoid deficiency, the opposite side. But with me being pro-cannabis for so long, there's also the idea of have those receptors been somewhat conditioned for a higher volume of delta-9, and am I getting the true plant-based assistance that Mother Nature provided? Because when you are picking up your product from a dispensary and you're getting a percentage over 50%, that's not Mother Nature's plan. That's a adult choice product at that point. You're going to feel that. But to circle back and finish that idea on what the Delta 8 consumers were buying it for, I saw the span of customers ranging from younger adult choice, and that was fine. They commented that it didn't make them as paranoid or worried. And with what's happening in schools and relationships these days and the job market, if you want to take Delta 8 instead of Xanax or other things, then that's impressive. But to finish that point, the older folks were taking it for the feeling, and the feeling wasn't recreation. The feeling was, I need to cope and soothe with this pain, and that feeling helps me cope and soothe. And I realized I'm not here to determine if that feeling is right or wrong for you. And then I look at what America shows you in the movies about a feeling. And if you watch any show and somebody has a tough day at work and then they come home or they meet their friends at the bar, what do? They grab one of these guys,
I know.
Hey, let's drink some alcohol because I had a hard day. I'm going through a rough patch in life. Or to celebrate. Take the wrapper off the can and put the cannabis plant there. And to put a nail in that thought, I like the idea of these older folks using plant-based feeling to cope and soothe with their aches and pains versus alcohol, which probably, I mean, as a clinician, that your patients might tell you that. And I wondered how many people use alcohol to cope and soothe. And it's nice to know that the plant-based side is making its way. I hope to see more in there. But on that endocannabinoid part and the amount, I've heard the theory about the endocannabinoid deficiency. Since the beginning of time, we've always had this plant. And if a caveman fell out of a tree and a bear saw him and chased him home, he's scared and hurt. He needed something, and that plant helped him cope and soothe. If you go see a doctor now that doesn't, practice holistic nutrition, and you tell them you're scared and hurt, you've got 3 prescriptions now.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
I wonder if I could ask you then, what do you think happens to the body? I know that we synthesize or somehow the body creates 2 of them or something, but with nature planning and imagining that caveman was going to run from a bear and be scared, and here's this plant that helps. Where are we when that's not in our body? And then I see how medicine filled that void, but what's the discussion about endocannabinoid deficiency and not having it?
Yeah, that is a very great question, Adam. See, it's just like you said, our forefathers, our patriarch, they use these plants for generation, like the scenario you just described. The women use it to help with pain of childbirth and all that. They use it as tonic. When I was growing up, tonic is kind of like your multivitamin. That is the thing. We when they go through this traumatic experience, they learn from years of working with the plant, because these are our teachers. Years of working with this plant, it gives them the opportunity to say, this is what has worked for me in the past. Let me take it. But as we grow older, just like now, when you and I were younger, we didn't need no vitamins.
Right.
You hear what I'm saying? Nobody need no vitamins. You just eat your food. I remember when I took my kids to the pediatrician, I said, okay, I'm just going to give them multivitamin. The pediatrician said they don't really need multivitamin. If they are eating healthy diets, they don't need it. But as we grow older, our body begins to change. We have deficiency. What do we do when we are deficient in, say, vitamin C? Or we go straight to over the counter and grab a bottle of multivitamin, one a day men, one a day women. We take it. For me personally, if I'm deficient in a particular vitamin, I can feel it even in my gum.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I can feel it in my gum. When I started seeing those gum feeling, I know that, I need my supplement. So that is the same thing. As we grow older, our body changes. There's deficiency in our endocannabinoid system. And just like we manage regular pharmaceuticals, regular ailment, you deficient in vitamin, you grab a bottle of multivitamin, it helps you to feel better. Why can't we do that when we are deficient in the endocannabinoid? Yeah. That is why I'm of the proponent that cannabis should be seen as nutraceutical. What does that mean? I know that's a little bit grammar. Nutrients as a pharmaceutics. Nutrients, using our food as a source of medicine. Nutraceutical, using food, using our plants as a source of wellness tools. That's what we use vitamin for. Why can't we use our food?
Yeah.
Cannabis is not different from spinach and garlic. The difference is that it has all those endocannabinoid systems that you were mentioning before, that makes it a special, miraculous gift of nature to us. That's what I think.
When you said it's like, spinach and everything, I have raw flour in the store because it's a hemp store and it's all under 0.3% Delta-9 THC. I have a bag of it because I'm using the stigma, but now moving forward, because most people still see a bag of cannabis and think about the criminal aspect of what that meant 20 years ago. And I say, that's not the reaction you should have. I'm holding up a bag of cannabis. You should look at this as if I just left Saturday morning market and I've got kale and broccoli and cannabis, because this cannabis is going to feed my endocannabinoid system. I feel like the health and wellness and the cooking market is infancy day one. We still have it. I mean, there's the magic butter crowd and the people that are using it for recreation. But when we learn, and I think they have products like shakers of cannabinoids that you can add, just like table salt and things like that, we're really going to see the plant acceptance and probably the health and wellness of all Americans, if not worldwide, all humans get better. That's, you know, with this, we all have this system. And one of my little analogies I say is, what do you do right now that helps you feel healthy that everybody knows? Oh, I'm going to drink a glass of orange juice. Oh, I'm going to go get a green shake. I'm going to go get a salad. All of those things are like spraying WD-40 on your car joint for your car's health. It's good and it helps overall in this area, that area. Your endocannabinoid system is like the oil, and that oil goes into every part of the effort you need for that car to be dependable and normal. You don't want your oil leaking. You don't want no oil. You don't want bad oil. Your endocannabinoid system is this system. And at least most holistic folks that are searching for natural remedies have heard the word homeostasis.
Yeah.
And I like to tell these short stories. And I say, if you've ever been to yoga, the first 10 minutes to 5 minutes of yoga is spent with an instructor helping you find your balance and find your center. And you paid money to sit in a room, to put your phone away, to force yourself mentally to find that spot. CBD is like liquid yoga, and your body can't run from it. You don't drink orange juice and tell your body, I just want the flavor today, no vitamin C, please. Let's excrete that and give me flavor. If you put genuine, high quality cannabinoids in your bloodstream, which is what we only work with, your body will have a reaction. The needle will move. I believe in the cannabis industry, it's best to also coach clients on the truth. This is natural. And again, falling out of a tree and running from a bear was Mother Nature's thought of probably a bad day, not what the modern world brings us with these job concerns, financial concerns, relationship concerns, and we're magnified, 100 times the easier things in life to cope and soothe with. So there's a lot of dynamics too. That's why you need a good qualified person to talk about it, because maybe your balance point for some things is here, and then it might escalate with life conditions and whatnot. So
that is awesome. That is really, really awesome. It shows how long you've worked with this plant for you to be able to break it down to average person's level. I love that analogy of yoga and CBD. That is mind blowing.
I'm actually surprised. I not in a bad way, but I think the yoga industry might even be a little jealous, because I think the two could be merged. Like if I owned a yoga studio, I would have free CBD in a little, the mouthwash cup for your own adult choice. If you would like your endocannabinoid system to be engaged while you are mentally asking your body to find homeostasis. It's like, I just thought of this one on the fly. If you go to a yoga class, you have a squeaky chain and you're trying all your might mentally to make that chain not squeak. The CBD is the oil. And like I said, you can't run from it. Something will happen, and Mother Nature designed it. So that's why they removed it from Schedule 1. It doesn't have any, you can probably elaborate. They removed it from the schedule because it didn't have the similar capabilities as other true drugs that suppress your ability to communicate internally and breathe and get oxygen or something. I mean, there's no danger in cannabis.
Yeah, that is amazing. That is why education is gonna be the key, because it's been generation that they've lied about this plant. So it's gonna take, I call it one which is 1,000, two which is 10,000. It's gonna take a horse continuously being bold to talk about this plant for folks to begin to open up and say, yeah, this makes sense. Talk to me a little bit as we are wrapping up. What are the routes of administration that you commonly see in your patient, in your clients?
Yeah, I like to keep it simple. So I have other plants in my store, but they act as props. And then when that question comes up, or someone says, well, how should I take it? I say, well, let's not forget that it all starts, right here. It's the same product. I can have an orange cake, an orange vitamin, an orange drink, an orange frozy pop, but I'm getting vitamin C. It just matters, how is that going to now get into my bloodstream? So here's the 4 ways. When you inhale, there's no digestion. It's lungs, bloodstream, brain right away. Inhale is more for the immediate need because you're going to get immediate onset, and that onset does, come within minutes, but it's easy in, easy out. So I categorize inhalants for situational anxiety, panic attacks, or on the opposite side for self-care and your own use, maybe relaxing at night, possibly to help fall asleep. And anytime you do any inhalant, whether it is over 0.3% or under THC, you get a small oxygen deprivation feeling of lightheadedness. And I like to caution, but also advise clients that when you feel that and it's CBD, don't mistake it for a THC high. It's an oxygen change, but use that because why are you taking the CBD? You want an escape or to cope and soothe with the stressful situation. So inhalants, above the neck benefit, above the neck kind of area of concern. With the edible, that's the most natural way. And I would love more elaboration on this in the clinical sense, but I believe everything along the digestive system that goes into the gallbladder, the liver, the pancreas, who invented that system? And whoever invented that system also invented the system that can make a baby. So maybe that route is the best route. And if somebody mentions stomach, digestive, anything internal like that, I have no clinical basis, but I do like the edible route because it's the most natural and it goes through the process. The pros and cons are you eat 25 milligrams at the mouth, the digestive tract takes about half of that on the erosion. So take a strong enough gummy. The onset is a slow release, and it's typically not feel it now and get it as much as you can. That's the next entry point. But it's a slow release, and I typically tell people gummies have given the best summary from clients as it helped me get a good night's sleep. Well, I was taking it for pain, and I kind of see what you're saying, and it gave me 20% benefit, but man, I got a good night's sleep. I kept hearing that, so I really, if somebody says I have sleep issues, it's not so much falling asleep, but I wake up and can't go back to sleep, it's a gummy, and that's that. Whenever someone says, well, it's sleep, and also a job's a little tough, or I have some anxiety, immediately goes over to the oil because the oil is under the tongue. It doesn't need to go the digestive system, 30, 40 minutes. It dissolves into the blood vessels under your tongue, and you can see them in the mirror. So almost like your skin absorbs it, you absorb it there, you skip the 35-minute digestive. The, let's say 15 milligrams you had there, it's my belief that you only lose up to a third of it. And when it's in the bloodstream, it's ready to go. The body doesn't ask it to do a slow release. So with anxiety and they don't want to do an inhalant, I like the sublingual because it seems to reach the bloodstream sooner and it's a little, ready to go. And then the last one is the topical, and that's obvious. If your elbow hurts and that's it, and it's not really causing you frustration, because pain can cause you to have depression. Most people don't know it, but if your friends call you on the weekend to go play golf and your knee hurts and you say, I can't go play, and then you hang up the phone and go, oh God, I wish I didn't have this pain. I wish I wouldn't have rode the motorcycle that day. You're actually going through depression. And so that's the topical. I save that for if it hurts there and that's what's bothering you, but you can cope and soothe with it in general, then a topical is fine. But if it's causing you grief in life and other things, then the sublingual.
Yeah, that's awesome. That
Yeah.
for me, I love the tincture. By the way, I like it, like you explained. When you have it under your tongue, it goes in there gradually, and you feel some of the effect. The way I take it is when I put it under my tongue for a while, and I have that little feeling, then I swallow the rest of it.
Yeah.
So the rest that I swallow kind of act like an edible. It takes a little bit longer for it to be broken down, but it lasts longer. So it's like me killing two birds with one
Yeah,
stone.
yeah,
That's what I do with my tincture. Yeah, it's and like it's so many ailments, so many. You did an amazing job
thank
with
you.
that analogy.
Yeah.
Why? Thank you so much for that. Why we are wrapping up? What is your advice to our audience that might be new to this cannabis space, or they are thinking of maybe adding it as a regimen to their wellness tools? Or those that might be thinking, oh, I would like to have a business like Adam.
Mhm.
Also, I mean, Adam is
Yeah,
an IT guy. He
yeah,
has more tools in his toolbox than
yeah.
average one of us. But
Uh-huh.
what is your advice for those set of people, those that might be looking into this space and wanted to bring in business, especially the Black indigenous people of color? We
Yeah,
have been the one that has had to
mhm,
suffer so much from
mhm,
war on drug.
mhm.
And what is your advice then also people that are new to this space? So what is,
Oh,
tell us
oh, yeah.
what you think.
Very happy to answer that. And I had a sales career in technology that lasted 20 years. And anytime I was ever determining if I might want to go work for a company or stop working for a company, it was always based on the ethic of what you were doing. Was it right? And when you're working with software companies, they're creating something and you really need to believe in that solution. So they say you have to believe in what you're selling or else you're not going to be authentic. If you're looking to get into this business, if you're looking to learn more about it and see if this is right for you, if you just want to try to figure it out, this is the best advice. And it's on my business card. If somebody walks in the store, I say, you don't have to buy anything right now. I'm not adding stress to your life. The advice is this, Dr. O, please go home and type into whatever search engine you're using, CBD and my ECS. You read any article you find. Pick the one from the NIH, National Institute of Health, where they formally documented the discovery of the endocannabinoid system in the, I think it was 70 or 71, although it's been
Mhm.
there since the beginning of time. But for this business, as a consumer, as a professional, as if you service this industry, that is the rubber meets the road area because the orchestration of what nature planned for us. Remember when I said in sales, you have to have something you believe in? How can
Mhm.
I not believe in what predates biblical times? And if I believe that the technology or whatever created us, and I can have a baby, I can love, I can eat food and process it, I can, all these things. Do you think that pain and anxiety was too unfathomable for the creators of this human body? So to me, the endocannabinoid system sets it straight. And I apologize for the medical practitioners that during the 1900s didn't have the education that included the endocannabinoid system because the medical colleges were prohibited because cannabis was criminalized. So naturally it wasn't taught, but unfortunately, but fortunately, you might need to find that information yourself unless they talk to someone like Dr. O that realizes the body has these organs, let's use them and not go these prescription routes that intervene with the body. So the big piece of advice is please just understand the endocannabinoid system. And from there, your passion should bite. And for me, I wanted to scream on top of the Empire State Building, everybody, please, cannabis is not bad. It's not just for smoking. It really is good. And
Yeah.
take that to heart because it'll come out in conversations. And on the flip side, don't get in this industry if you spent 10 years in marketing and have accumulated a good bit of wealth and service the industry or something maybe and help somebody that has the true passion. Because if four gentlemen get together with a lot of money and a good SEO expert, but it's never touched anyone in their family, it hasn't touched anyone in their life, they won't deliver the message with the authenticity. So it does help if you've had some personal experience, like you mentioned, possibly within your family or something. I was personally uh, benefited by it after 20 years of adult choice that I thought was somewhat dishonorable to my family, but then all of a sudden to learn. Anyway, I think it all is with the endocannabinoid system. End of story.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, maybe the power that be can find a way to bring the people that have been have to suffer so much from demonizing this plan. Now that the business is coming up and everybody is getting ready to be making money, hopefully they will begin to think of justice and bring folks, especially the minority community that have been at the receiving hand of this injustice, bring them to the table. So, I mean, why should you criminalize people for trying to take care of their health and well-being? It don't make no sense to me. Anyway, Adam, thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate the wealth of knowledge, and I can't wait for us to meet up again soon. We are having an event in Tampa on the 20 when is that, on the 17th of October. I will send you the bill. It's gonna be Florida networking event. So we're gonna have Dr. Jara. He is an emergency room doctor. He's also a cannabis professional. With myself, yours truly will be there. We're gonna be talking all things cannabis, psychedelics. Hopefully you can attend that event. It's gonna be in Tampa. I'm gonna send you the flyer. Thank you, Adam, so much for being here.
If anybody
Folks,
before
I let you go, where can our audience find you? I mean, are you kidding me? I can let Adam go without you guys finding out where to find him. Where can we find you, Adam?
Well, if you're not in the St. Pete area, we've been online for 4 years, and it's a simple website. It's hhoutlet.com, which stands for Healthy Hemp Outlet, but abbreviated hhoutlet.com. And if you're in St. Pete, we are downtown on Central Avenue. The biggest landmark is the Tropicana baseball field. The locals know that we're close to Ferg's and Bodega and Intermezzo. It's a nice area to walk around, and I modeled the store after what I thought most people would appreciate: open, white interior. It's like an Apple store, basically. The trend I was seeing in the early industry. But downtown St. Pete, and send me the information for October. It's that close. I must attend, and I would love to see you again. We had fun on that panel, and it's great to see the questions, and just it's a beautiful gift to give people the gift of education, and it just
absolutely. That is it, folks. And the best way you can remember Adam's website, think of water, H2O, H2O, hemp, healthy hemp outlet, H2O. Water is life. Water. So thank you so much, Adam, for being here. Folks, that's our show for today. For those of you that are yet to join our Healthy Coswell membership, please feel free to join us. Slide in my DM, WCI Health 19. And also, if you are an organization out there, your business, you would like to sponsor this show, we will love you to join us. We will be glad to work with whatever budget you have in mind. We will be glad to bring you on board. And finally, you haven't picked up your book yet, A Pharmacist's Guide to Cannabis, Perspective of a Non-Conforming Clinician. Yours truly, at the end of September, we will be having the Cannabisiac, their organization under the Mosaic group. They're going to be having this book as their book of the month. Wow. This, if you are in the cannabis business or you are a user, you want to know all the basics with zero medical jargons, this is your Bible right here. You need to have it. It helps your patient, especially if you are a dispensary. You have to have it on your shelf. So your patient, your bartender don't have to answer all those questions anymore. What is endocannabinoid system, minor cannabinoid, major cannabinoid? What do they do? Route of administration. It's a basic, it's about 50 pages book, but you got everything you need. Pick up your copy on my website, WCI-health.com. And if you are buying from the website, you need me to sign it for you. I will autograph this. Get yours autographed before it's gone. And if you're out of the country, you can get it on Amazon. So the book is also available on Kindle version and also on paperback on Amazon. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, remember, health equals wealth. Bye, guys.